But welcome everyone. My name is Michelle Foster. I've met many of you, so it's lovely to see lots of friends of the centre here. But in case I haven't met you, I'm the Professor Michelle Foster, the Director of the Peter McMullin Centre on Statelessness here at Melbourne Law School. And it's my great pleasure to be hosting today's focus webinar. Oh, sorry, I'm madly letting people in as I'm speaking, so sorry about the constant clicking here. For those who are just joining, welcome. We're just getting started. I was just saying I'm Michelle Foster and hosting this Asia in Focus seminar today. So I'd like to begin by acknowledging that for some of us, including myself, I'm joining you from the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. So today we have a very special treat. We are being joined by our wonderful colleague, Professor Lara Chen, who's a professor at the School of International Liberal Studies at Waseda University. But she's also the founder of a really important network in Japan called Stateless Network, which is a non-profit organisation that takes care of stateless people and advocates on behalf of stateless people in Japan. But unusually for academics working in this space, Professor Chen also has lived experience of statelessness. And as you know, she's just published a wonderful book called Stateless, an Autoethnography. And that's the basis on which we've invited her to speak with us today. So as you can probably already tell, Professor Chen just has so much to share with us, and we're really thrilled that she's joined us. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over. Professor Chen is going to speak for probably about sort of 35 to 40 minutes, which give time for questions. So please do start thinking about the questions. If you'd like to start putting them through the chat during the presentation, that's fine. And I will then sort of collect them as we go. I'll also just mention, just in case some of you have to finish early, just to say that we do have a discount voucher for her wonderful book, which I think it's in the chat, but I'll also send the brochure about the book through to all of you who've registered. So I'll send that after the fact. So thank you so much, Professor Chen, for being with us. Over to you.
Thank you, Michelle, and hello, everyone. And I'm so happy to see some of you we haven't seen for a long time. And thank you so much for the center to give me this chance to share some of my experience with you, and also some information I've touched upon on my book just published from NUS Press this year. Today I prepare like a PowerPoint. I put too many information maybe, but I will maybe I will skip some of that. But basically, I will share the my experience as being stateless and why we established a Stateless Network, and why I published this book, and why try to make the stateless issue more easy to understand. So let me share this. My title is Stateless, my Autoethnography. I myself is based on anthropology, so it's not like autoethnography is. This time I tried this method to share the issue on stateless. Okay, this is the book published from the NUS this year. My firstly, my background is my father is born in 1922. This year is 102 years old, and now live in Yokohama, Japan with me. He is born in China, but
you want to get me one? If you want, I can. Yeah, I'll pick it up next time.
He also experienced the Manchuria period when Japan colonized China in Manchuria, northern part of China, and later he also experienced World War II. Had a war between Japan and China, and then the civil war between Communist China and Republic China, now today's Taiwan and People's Republic of China. Because my father was, his family was the landlord in northern part of China. So after communist China, he couldn't remain in China. So he, as a refugee, he moved down from northern part of China down to Taiwan. And this is my mom. My mom's side, my grandfather of my mom's side is the general of Republic of China. So means Kuomintang China. So my mom's side's grandfather, he also lost the war and moved to Taiwan. So that's why my father and my mom met in Taiwan and they got married in Taiwan. This is the wedding ceremony when they were in Taiwan, and in the middle is my grandfather of my father's side. And this is the family picture of my mother's parents, my grandfathers and my grandmother, and my father's father, my grandfather of my father's side, and my siblings who were all born, my siblings were all born in Taiwan. And my father in 1954, he moved to Japan because one of the reasons for him to move to Japan is because maybe the weather is too hot in Taiwan. And another reason is because he had some family in China and want to contact with them. But if he still remained in Taiwan, he couldn't. That's why he moved to Japan, try to have the still contact with the family remaining in China. But until 70s, he couldn't. And in 1960s, when my dad got the job in Japan, in Yokohama, the community of the Chinese community in Yokohama, he asked my mom to move to Japan with my siblings. And my mom moved to Japan in 1964 with my sisters and brothers. I think this is the picture after they moved to Japan and my grandfather and my grandmother visit them in Japan. But to tell the truth, that decision was not easy for my mom because, as you know, my grandfather was the general and he had the experience to fought World War II against Japan. So when my mom said she wanted to migrate to Japan, actually he was so upset and actually he hits my mom. No matter my mom was already 30-something years old when she moved to Japan. So after they moved, I was, let me see if I have the picture. Oh, sorry, I will show you my picture. I was born in 1972, and I didn't know I was stateless until these things happened. I experienced as a Tom Hanks. I think some of you may know the movie Terminal, and then Tom Hanks falling in love with the cabin attendant at the New York airport in New York. Actually, I myself experienced that when I was 21 in the airport. We went on after I came back from Korea. We had a meeting Philippines. So we went to Philippines, and then on the way back from Philippines to Japan, my mom suddenly say, why don't we stop over in Taiwan and see my brother, because when my brother was living there in Taiwan, she said, why don't we stop over Taiwan? And until that time, we all think Taiwan is our home. So I say, oh, okay. And we tried to enter Taiwan. My parents easily entered, but the officer at the counter saw my saw my passport in the middle, this green one. They say, you cannot enter Taiwan. I say, why not? I say, I have this passport, why cannot enter Taiwan? They say, you don't have the registration in Taiwan. This is the like a travel document only. And then the numbers start from X, means you are the overseas, the person in overseas, not the resident in Taiwan. So you need visa in order to enter Taiwan. So until that time, I didn't know Taiwan is not actually my home. So I told my mom, say, Mom, I cannot get in. My mom said, oh no, okay, then I will call sister and ask her to pick you up at the Haneda airport. So I went back to the terminal and changed my flight and back to Japan. And when I arrived in Japan, I used this travel document and tried to enter Japan. But at the airport, at the counter, they say, sorry, you cannot enter Japan. I say, why? I say, I'm born and raised in Japan, and I'm the permanent resident in Japan. Why? How come I cannot enter Japan? They say, because your visa is already expired, so you cannot enter. So if you can read Japanese or Chinese character, this 3 character means stateless. This is my driver license, and label me as stateless. And for the certificate of alien registration, I also had it label me as a stateless. So these were my ID. So when I go to the bank or try to rent apartment, many times people say, oh, stateless, what it means? And they are reluctant to rent apartment for me or open a bank account for me. And this time, I was stuck in the airport and realized, wow, I'm really stateless. Until that time, I didn't know what these stateless on my ID card means. But because of the experience of stuck in the airport, I really realized that. I wish the film Terminal was before I experienced this, but maybe I can, still dreaming, fall in love with somebody at the airport. But this, that was happened when I was 21. So it was in 1990 something, right before, much earlier than this movie was out. So I start to question who I am, where I belong, where's my home, why I'm stateless, but I hardly to share with my friends or even my boyfriend, and don't know how to deal this issue. And I really had the identity crisis at the time. So why I became stateless? And it's because I was born in 1971, and in 1972, Japan normalized the diplomatic relation with the People's Republic of China. And on the other hand, they broke the ties with diplomatic ties with Taiwan. So at the time, the overseas Chinese migrant who has the Chinese nationality are mostly having the Republic of China's nationality. But because the resident country, Japan, are gonna not to recognize the nationality, the citizenship of Republic of China, many overseas migrants in Japan were they were so panicked, say, what we're gonna do. Many people at that time, we can see the statistic on the Japanese Justice Ministry of Justice. We can see there's a 9,200 people became stateless at the time, and in a few years, 2 or 3 years, down to down to 2,700. So we can see many people became stateless once, and then after that, they decided to get naturalized to Japan or get the People's Republic of China nationality or migrate out to the third country. And for our family, why I was remain as stateless until 30 something years old is because of my father were reluctant to transfer our nationality to People's Republic of China, and my mom was really stubborn, and she said don't want to get the naturalized to Japanese citizenship. That's why we became stateless when I was 1 year old and until 30 when I myself naturalized to Japanese citizenship. So when I was studying, it was very difficult for me to get a job in Japan with the stateless status, and I decided to continue my study and for the MA and then PhD. And at the MA, I went to Hong Kong, and for PhD research, I went to US. And after my PhD, I tried to get a job in UN, but I couldn't because I have no citizenship. So I decided to continue my research on stateless. But as an anthropologist, it was very, I was reluctant to write my own life story, because as an anthropologist, you always have to be the observer. But many media and some media knew that I was stateless. They pushed me to write my life history as being a stateless. So I published this book in Japanese in 2004, I think. At the time, it was quite a new thing even for Japanese society. They start to future this issue, and we also made a documentary film with NHK and so on. And 2008, I organized a international symposium with UNHCR. On the next year, we've established the Stateless Network. So these are the book also translated to Korean and Chinese. And in this book, I touch upon Japanese Filipino children and also Amerindian kids, which is this Amerindian kids is the under American Army and Japanese Okinawan ladies. And Japanese Filipino children are the kid's father is Japanese and mother is mostly Filipino, and they were not legally married, but the kids born, and the kids were not assigned the Japanese citizenship, and the mother also didn't register them to the Filipino government. That's why the kids end up stateless and not registered in any country. And also I found there's some case about Japanese Filipino in Philippines. Japanese descendants remain in Philippines. This Sakai-san, you can see her ID card label her as stateless, and these Japanese Filipino now after 70 or 80 years old, they try to find their roots in Japan and try to register their birth certificate in Japan and get the Japanese citizenship. This here, the Sakai-san. And through my field work, we interview many stateless people and try to figure their life story. And the documentary was showed on NHK in Japan and also in this film festival. This is the homepage of Stateless Network. I think you will be able to see our homepage. And as I told you, we established in 2009. The reason we established this is I myself, as a raised up as a stateless, I had no place to knock my door when I realized my issue, and nowhere to ask. So in 2009, we start this and try to advocate the issue on stateless, and also we have some legal expert will deal with the issue if some people come and ask for their problem that they are facing. And I think here we have some Bongkot and some of our colleagues. They also support us and deal with the issue which is relate to maybe like a Thailand or some case relate to Philippines, where we have the colleagues working on Philippines and some expert in Vietnam. We also have them connect them with these experts, and also to the legal like a lawyer or legal expert. We realized that for stateless people, they go directly to the lawyer is a very difficult thing for them, because the language, not means the Japanese or English, the way they talk or what they think is very difficult for them to communicate with the lawyer or people in the legal, expert. So we try to play as a middleman to interpret, no matter we are speaking the same language, we still have to interpret for them and try to connect them with the expert, and on the other hand with the stateless people themselves, and try be bridge of these two sides. These are some of the activity we organized, like photo exhibition when Greg Constantine came to Waseda. We organized this with the student, and this year the student organization Stateless Network youth also established, and youth group are also having the activity with us. And the youth group, other than they advocate and study about stateless issue and advocate about stateless issue, they also support stateless children in Japan and overseas. This is the picture of the field work and the support activity they do every year in island between Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines. And this is in Tawau. And we also go to visit Bajau, to see Bajau people and have the activity with them in Sempona and some of the island near there. And yeah, these kids are mostly stateless, and we realize these kids, they are so-called the island, like Bajau people are living on the sea. So for them, the concept of the nation state is rather the new things. So to have citizenship is quite a new thing for these people, like for Bajau people. So that's why many of them are not registered their birth certificate either in Malaysia or in Philippines, and remain stateless. Yeah, this is the media capture our activity when we visit Malaysia. So, and also about the student, how they support stateless people. And one of them are born in Japan as a second generation Vietnamese, and she herself realized she is actually stateless when she was 20, when she tried to study overseas but couldn't get the passport, and came to us and consult with us on this issue about how to get the passport. So I think sorry, I can only give you the Japanese book, the cover of in Japan. These are the book I published, passportology, our study group working on the passport, and another book about the stateless and the multiple citizenship and where you from. The title is stateless and multiple citizenship, where you actually from. And from this study, we realize more and more people have dual or triple or multiple nationality, but still in Japan are not allowed to have dual nationality. This case about one of the case of Kuhonta, this kid's father is from Philippines, and Eric born in Sri Lanka and grew up in Iran and Italy under Filipino parents and studied in the US and working in Canada. Actually, he is now the professor in one of the famous university in Canada, and married with Japan and born 2 babies in Canada. And the kids has 3 citizenship. But Eric only had the Filipino, and every time they tried to go overseas, Eric was always stuck in the airport and have to get a visa to go, even go to Japan or go to other places. And in 2018, when Eric's father passed away, and they had the ceremony in Philippines, they realized his father were actually stateless, and yeah, he himself didn't know, and his auntie told him actually his father was born in Philippines, but until 18 the father was stateless until 18. That many of them didn't know their family history, and and this came out when I talking with this issue, and he told me actually what not today citizenship issue is such a normal thing, but actually very ambiguous if we look back and to think about from today's in the future, for us to have to see many kids have 2 or 3 citizenship, even for the Eric's sons as well. So maybe I think many of you may know the third culture kids, and I also invent a rainbow metaphor when I did the PhD research. And for us as an anthropologist, to question where we belong are something important, but today's world often will label every person based on the citizenship. So I'm questioning if it's true, or is it still is it still, how to say that? I'm questioning about that issue. So maybe rainbow, every person could be the rainbow, and we have many identity. Maybe legal identity is one thing, and cultural identity, language, or where you lived could be your identity as well. These are we have many layers for identity, and how see the person is very important. And the passport or legal identity is one way of looking at people. Maybe ethnic background, what language you speak, what kind of religion you have is some other identity layer. And this could be the could connect people based on that. And why I try to use the rainbow as a metaphor for stateless people says even stateless people could be, the rainbow of the society. I try to write this auto-ethnography and try to put this as a picture book would like to empower and give the message to stateless people to have the confidence of being a human being. They could be the global citizen. So this is a picture book that edited by the Stateless Network used based on my story, using the rainbow pendant as a metaphor to try to empower the stateless people and let more people to know about the stateless people are living in our country, in our society. Yeah, that's all about my presentation. And I think NUS Press extended the discount until end of this month. So if you are interested in, please visit the NUS site. And today I only talk about some part of the book. I also included the case of the Golan Heights or Kosovo or Palestinian people in this book as well. And in the end, in June 1st, we are going to have an international symposium on understanding human rights of stateless people in the real life content in the Asian Pacific. I'll welcome you to join us for this event. This will be a hybrid webinar and face-to-face. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Chen. That was really captivating. It was just wonderful.